Hey, welcome to my review of Pokemon Journeys, episode 57, Love is a Psyduck. So right off the bat, I'm just going to say this isn't really an action-heavy episode or anything. This is a really slice-of-life-focused episode, so if that's not really your thing, I don't think you really like this episode. So we actually start off with Kakuna, the lab assistant, at home calling her mum, who asks if she has a special someone. Kakuna hangs up and leaves, and we see a photo of her with a man and a Psyduck. Kaharu makes her way off to the lab in the cold, and Sakuragi is off on a trip to research some findings. And then the boys are off too, because it's going to snow, meaning more ice types will be about for Go to get. I feel like that's supposed to be a Pokemon Go reference, but honestly that does apply to the main games too, so who knows. So Kaharu did want to see the boys and was planning to have dinner with them, as she flashes back to earlier that morning and Sota was going to be going on a sleepover to Nami's from the Feebas episode, and Yamp had to go with him. Then Kaharu's mother Yoshino is going to be back late that night too because of work, so she was planning to have dinner with Go and Ash, but they're now gone. On the way back into the lab, Gengar jumps Kaharu, Kakuna and Renji, and Eevee sticks its tongue out back at it. So Kaharu thinks Gengar is mad that Ash didn't bring it along, and Kakuna tells it to just go away and stop scaring people. So because Kaharu has nothing to do, she watches the assistants as they work. They get through the day, and since the boys aren't back, Kakuna suggests having a girls' night at her place. We get a nice little musical sequence with 1-2-3, the new version of it, playing as they traverse through Vermilion City getting food, and that abruptly cuts out when they get back into a flat and it's very messy and cluttered with Psyduck merch. The boys are out in the cold and they decide to get some food as they're hungry now, and they leave without Go catching anything. But as they do, a Lapras shows up quite predictably, so there's that. Eevee knocks a picture down at Kakuna's flat and Kaharu thinks to herself it's Kakuna's boyfriend, and that's part of why she collects Psyduck merch. They have dinner. Kakuna asks about Eevee and Kaharu's bond, and when Kaharu says she wants it to grow a bit more, Kakuna suggests asking Go and Ash about it, which Kaharu kind of dismisses because they'd be very weird about it. The boys have some ramen and they actually meet the man and Psyduck that's in Kakuna's picture, and after a psychic headache, he buys the boys some food. Kakuna lets Kaharu sample some oils that were extracted from various Pokemon. That shows one aspect of what Pokemon research can be used for. It's pretty nice. And they're off to sleep, so they have a little conversation. Kaharu's inspired by Kakuna. She works hard and she's pretty. And maybe that's an indication of where Kaharu's character will go. Maybe she'll want to become a research assistant. Kakuna lets Kaharu know about a story where she couldn't do a presentation as a student, and she thought she wouldn't be able to be a researcher. Outside of the building, Kakuna cries, and Psyduck throws its scarf on Kakuna. Then it and its trainer put a snowman together, but Psyduck is cold. Kakuna gives the scarf back and helps. Then they have fun in the snow after making a snow Psyduck, which led to that photo we saw being taken. This all gave Kakuna the motivation she needed to continue. Kaharu asks about the man, and Kakuna says she hasn't seen him since. The next morning, Kaharu sees the boys, and they mention the Psyduck, so Kaharu mobilizes and gets them to come help find him. They don't have luck at first, but Kaharu sits down and suddenly a scarf covers her neck. It's Psyduck, and the man comes along. Kaharu wants to bring him to meet Kakuna at the lab. Kaharu brings him out. The world pauses as Kakuna stares, and he stares back. Kakuna starts to tear up and runs forward. And that's when Kakuna hugs Psyduck instead, and expresses she wants to meet the Psyduck again because the motivation kept her going. Okay, this episode was just a really nice and chilled out one. Watching it kind of felt like a long winter's day, you know? It's just a perfectly normal day that you get insight into someone's life, and in this case it was Kakuna. And honestly, I appreciate that focus. She appears a lot, so getting more backstory in her is great. Some idea of who she is outside of her professional life. Kaharu's a fun little role here, kind of being the only one with nothing to do, so she has to find something to do, and just sort of latches onto someone she probably would relate to. She takes it on herself to find the man and sort of repay Kakuna for the night together. I like that. It's a way to bring it all together and lead to a hilarious but wholesome ending. This is honestly just a relaxing, slow episode. Might be one of the better slice of life episodes within Journey so far. Good stuff if you're cool with this type of content in Pokemon, as it serves the character who wouldn't get focused anywhere else.